Fly Free Sports, we back in the building. Um, as everybody knows, man, I'm real big on combat sports. You know, there's very few things like a fight night, um, and just the sport in general of boxing, MMA. This is all in my wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like I watch this shit ad nauseum. You know what I mean? Like ridiculous amounts of hours watching the sports, man. So uh I just, big fight last night. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach, which was expected to go one way. It's supposed to be one way traffic, but as we saw last night, it didn't turn out that way. Now, I say this a lot about Tank Davis fans. I don't like talking boxing or combat sports in general with the likes of fans who support Tank Davis, not even support Tank Davis because that sounds like some hating shit, but like support his style of fighter. It's like the same shit with Mike Tyson, right? Niggas who like to watch Mike Tyson and Tank Davis, they're watching for a knockout. Like they're watching because they know that Tank Davis and Mike Tyson have high knockout rates and they want to see knockouts. These people couldn't give a fuck less about the sweet science of boxing. All the intricacies in boxing, they don't give a fuck about. They don't care how well somebody slips punches, how good their foot movement is, how good their in advance their ring IQ is. They don't care about a nigga's ability to move laterally. They don't care about his setups. They don't care about any of that shit. All they care about is a nigga coming to pay admission to watch somebody get knocked out, and guys like Tank Davis and Mike Tyson deliver on that 9 times out of 10. And that's no slight, of course, to Mike Tyson because I think Mike Tyson, aside from the knockout power, was a great boxer. Like I think he was I'll say a very, very, very good boxer, right? The peekaboo style, everybody know Mike Tyson, whatever. But his fans in general, like typically Mike Tyson fans don't give a fuck about nothing else but his ability to knock niggas out. Mike Tyson was very sound defensively, had very, very good head movement. You ask these niggas to break down some tape of Mike Tyson, they probably couldn't, but they could tell you a nigga get knocked out. So when I speak to the people like that, it's just a lack of knowledge about the sport in and of itself. Um, I just think and last night, uh the guy that they see as untouchable for whatever reason is it's crazy because I've been explaining my feelings towards Tank Davis as a boxer in recent years. Um, Anybody who really knows the sport that well sees that a lot of these fights that Tank Davis gets in, he gets outboxed like pretty normally. It's like a normal occurrence that he, especially like the first few rounds where he's collecting data, and he has that very, very low output. Specifically earlier in the fights, same thing happened last night. Um, Tank Davis is not a very, very busy fighter, but he does have incredible power, especially for his weight class. And when you're not able to land that big shot that you're dependent on at some point in the middle to late rounds, anybody that knows the sport knows Tank was capable of being beaten. Like this, it's not really a surprise, which is why I've always said if him and Shakur Stevenson ever fight, I'm racking up. I'm gonna win so much money because I already know who the superior boxer is, and Tank won't be able to land that big shot. But that's another story for another day. About the fight last night, Tank, of course, comes out same. I mean, he looks the same. Always, he starts off kind of slow. He's compiling information, you know, getting his feel, getting his feet up under him, trying to find a rhythm, trying to look for openings, things like that. And Lamont Roach was kind of the same. Of course, Lamont Roach coming up from 130, he respects the hell out of the power of Tank Davis. So he's not going to be as aggressive as he probably would be in his own weight class. So you could tell he was kind of leery early, but he was still boxing pretty well, even though both guys were very inactive. for the first part of this fight. Um, and I think that part was well played by Roach, because a lot of times guys are trying to, especially like in the Ryan Garcia fight with Tank, they're trying to like pressure Tank into something, which that's you're just begging to get countered. Tank is a classic counter puncher. Um, and once he smells blood in the water, you're finished. So I think Roach not engaging too much early, I think that was a very, very, very good game plan. Um, Tank, as he started picking up his output, I did not expect for Lamont Roach to stand in the pocket as much as he did in exchange. That was the part that really, really stood out to me in this fight. He was in the pocket exchanging with the heaviest puncher in that division. And he's just coming up to that. That in and of itself is it's crazy. It's crazy to even think about. Coming up from 130 and you're in the center of the ring exchanging punches with the heaviest puncher in that weight class. Insanity. That's the part that really caught me off guard. You know what I mean? I thought he had solid head movement. Tank was kind of he couldn't get the head off the center line. You know what I mean? Like and you heard in his corner. And I don't know what was going on like with Coach Calvin. I know they've been having like some kind of dispute, recently. I don't know what, I haven't really looked into it. I haven't cared enough, but I do know there was some kind of tension in their camp to where now he has like a new head coach, but Coach Calvin is still in the corner. But like in the corner last night, it was like he was like real short tempered with Coach Calvin. And I'm like, so I think I see some kind of irony in this is the first fight where Coach Calvin isn't his head coach, and the results from last night happen. I don't know. I think there's something to look into. I don't know what they got going on, but Coach Calvin probably needs to take the reins back, man, because they say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and those corner interactions said a lot last night. Tank was frustrated, yelling and shit. Like that's when you know a fighter is having a rough night. When the corner is chaotic, just take a like anytime a fighter's having a bad night and they give you that camera angle of the corner and the audio and all that shit, like pay attention to how they're interacting with each other. Take a look at the fighter's demeanor between rounds. And Tank was flustered for sure. He was flustered. I thought Roach landed some very nice shots, a couple of them which stunned Gervonta. He fell back on one of them, kind of stumbled backwards off a counter shot. He landed his, but Roach landed as well and got the better end of it. And Tank stumbles backwards. Then you had the controversial knee. I see niggas trying to explain that shit away. You cannot take a knee and force the ref to call a timeout. Timeouts are at the ref's discretions. I see niggas trying to defend it, talking about, well, it wasn't because of a punch. He got hit with a punch 2.5 seconds before he took the knee. We've seen plenty of times in boxing where motherfuckers have delayed reactions and end up stepping back and taking a knee. And I'm not saying that Tank's was a delayed reaction or that he was hurt from that particular punch that landed, but you still cannot step back and then take a knee for a timeout. Then the nigga goes to the corner and gets his face wiped. Like, I've never, ever, ever, ever seen that. I've never seen that. Never, never, never. Usually how it works is, the fighter signals to the ref. And like I said, it's at the ref's discretion whether he wants to grant the timeout. The fighter could tell me, something on my eye, whatever. And they can kind of pause action and handle it. But as you saw when Tank kneeled, Lamont Roach stepped back, like, because he knows it's that internal clock. Boxers know if you take a knee, that's automatic. But I think even without that, I think he still won the fight. Like, he got the better of the exchanges. He was the more busy fighter. He controlled the pace of the fight. Yeah, it's just you can't. There's no way. I don't give a fuck how big of a fan you are of somebody. Film does not lie. You can go back and watch that fight 10 times. You're gonna come up with the same answer. You just see niggas grasping for straws. If I know niggas don't like to see their favorites lose. That's just how it is in sports. You don't like to see your favorite boxer lose. You don't like to see your favorite basketball players lose, football, baseball, so on and so forth. You don't like to see your favorites lose. So I get it, but you still got to be real at the end of the day. Like the film don't lie, bro. And I saw it on first watch. I actually went back and watched the fight again, and yeah, like especially those early rounds. I don't know how. I don't get how you could give like first, second, third. We talking about them rounds to Tank because he was so inactive. He wasn't throwing anything, and that's not to say Roach was super busy at the same time, but it's like I don't know. Like people just automatically just gave him the early rounds. Like when we saw what happened in the championship rounds, so that's not even debatable. I thought something that was real glaring as well. After the fight, Tank said, I was wearing him down in the last 3 rounds. Like, you were wearing him down in the last 3 rounds? How, nigga? He won those last 3 rounds. And since when has Tank ever broken somebody down? Tank is he's not a fighter that breaks you down typically. He's a guy that one shots you. Like Tank don't like drag niggas to the 12th and it be punishing. Like Tank is a powerful guy, man. When that nigga hits niggas in that division, they drop. You know what I mean? So the whole breaking them down shit, like Tank, you don't break niggas down. You knock niggas out. You knock niggas the fuck out, but you don't break niggas down. Like how they say boxers break niggas down. You ain't that type of fighter. Like, so I don't know what that nigga was talking about. Talking about he was breaking them down the last 3 rounds. Like, nigga, are you okay? You could just tell he was kind of flustered or whatever. But man, Lamont Roach really showed up. He really showed up. Like I said, certain aspects of Lamont Roach's game surprised me, but the overall result did not surprise me. And of course, they ruled it a draw, but the overall result did not. It didn't surprise me because, like I've been saying this shit. Like I've been saying, Tank can get outboxed. Just nobody had the ring IQ yet to do so. You know what I mean? And Lamont Roach came in and implemented the game plan, and it worked. You know what I mean? So, and that's why like, the whole Shakur Stevenson thing, it really kills me because Shakur would be coming up too as well. It's like Shakur is a more skilled boxer than Lamont Roach. I think I ain't gonna give niggas too much credit. I think the majority of real boxing fans and not niggas who just sit here looking for niggas to get knocked out. I think real boxing fans could admit that Shakur Stevenson is a higher caliber of boxer than Lamont Roach. Now, like Tank fans have come out like now, oh, Shakur can't beat Roach. Like y'all niggas didn't even know who this nigga was a couple months ago. Y'all didn't even know who Lamont Roach was a couple months ago. Now all of a sudden he could beat Shakur because he gave your man's a hard time. Like, knock it the fuck off, man. Like you niggas always got like it's just like the whole shit with the whole Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese shit. They realize Angel Reese ain't shit. So now it's like, oh, well, she ain't better than Asia Wilson. Like you niggas just deflect and try to veer off into some other shit like niggas gonna forget. Like, nah, like don't do that. Let's stay right here. Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis. Let's keep it there. Don't try to bring Roach into this just because he was knocking your man's upside the head. Like, we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that, bro. Like now, all of a sudden, he the best thing since sliced bread because he gave y'all savior a hard time. Like so, but I know how niggas are. Like so, it is what it is. What else I got to say about this fight? I'm gonna keep it 100% real with y'all. I expected Tank to win this fight. Like I wasn't about to bet on Lamont Roach. So I want to be clear. Like I didn't go into this shit. I didn't go into this shit thinking Lamont Roach was gonna win this fight. I did not. I didn't. But he fought a very, very good fight, man. Fought a clean fight. And like I said, he surprised me staying in the pocket as much as he did with a heavy hitter. Um, so salute to Lamont Roach, man. Fight of his career, bro. Fight of his career. I don't know if they'll do a rematch, but the way the fight looked, it'll go in a similar fashion. I think it'll go in a similar fashion. I just think Tank got to go back to the drawing board, man. I think that nigga has to go back to the drawing board. First of all, get Coach Calvin back in the fold as your head coach. I don't know why 30 something fights into your career you want to switch up and start doing other shit. Like I don't get it. I don't know what type of issues they had with each other or Tank had with him or he had with Tank. I don't know. But you got to stay with what works, man. Especially, we're creatures of habit, man. We talking about the fight game, just creatures of habit, man. Like, I could see if shit wasn't going good in camp and you had to, shit wasn't going good in camp and you might have dropped a couple fights or you may need to change this or change that. But when you're rolling at the tank at the rope at the rate that Tank was rolling at, excuse me, you typically don't change shit up like this deep, especially like this nigga been with this nigga since he was a kid. So I don't know, but hopefully they could get that worked out. Cause I want to like, regardless of man, all the shit I'm saying about Tank, bro, I want to see the nigga at his best. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see the nigga at his best. I just don't think he's as great as these niggas make him out to be, just because he has fucking high voltage in his hands. Like nobody ever denies that. But I just don't think he's that great of a boxer. Niggas used to look at me sideways, and I'm not comparing. Before I even say this, I'm not comparing. Like niggas used to look at me sideways when I said Deontay Wilder wasn't shit, like because he couldn't box. Now I'm not comparing the two because I think Tank is a way better boxer than Deontay Wilder. Fundamentally and all that shit. Like I don't even think it's in the same stratosphere. But that's just an example. Like I was telling niggas, this nigga's not shit. Like he can easily get beat. And what happened? He starts getting his ass whooped. You know what I mean? And I think a similar thing could start happening in the Tank, man, if you don't tighten up. Because you're not guaranteed to land that shot. Boxing is not all about how hard you can knock a nigga out, even or how hard you can punch. You know what I mean? That's just a gift. Like the power is a gift, bro. That shit is a luxury. Like when all else fails, you have knockout power in your hands, but every boxer does not have that. And that's fine. Some make up for it in other areas. They have different skill sets, all that shit. Like it's fine. Everybody's different, but I just can't stand the niggas that just be like, "Oh, you gotta knock them out." Like, go watch a street fight or something, man. Like, go watch some other shit. Like, this is boxing, bro. It's boxing, not Mike Tyson punch out, nigga. Like, this is boxing. And I know the only time these niggas even really watch combat sports or boxing is when a nigga they really fuck with is doing it. That's where niggas like me come into play because I watch everybody. Like I watch all different styles of boxers, different eras, ad nauseum. Like I said, bro. So when you entrenched in this shit, and then you got niggas come popping out once or twice a year and they guy fight, and then try to tell you about the sport like you don't watch the shit year round is crazy to me. Like I don't know, man. But anyway, um, yeah, that's pretty much. I thought Roach won the fight. I don't. It was a good fight though. It was a very very good fight. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, like I said, the exchange, the in pocket exchanges really took me back. Like damn, like this is really happening. And like the whole time I'm thinking like Tank is gonna land one. Like he's gonna at the rate they were throwing at a particular point in that fight, like I was like, yeah, Tank gonna land one, but it never. He and even when he landed, like it wasn't. You could tell Roach took the power very well. Pause. He took the power very well. So I mean, I think once Tank realized that, he was like, shit, I'm in for a long night. But it was just good to see somebody stand up to the guy that everybody looks at as like this perfect fighter. Like I don't know, bro. Y'all just gotta step y'all knowledge up, bro. That's all. And I promise you, niggas, bro. When the Tank, if I hope to God it happens, when that Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson fight happens, man, throw up whatever you want to throw up, bro. Whatever, like bet whatever, bro. This only reaffirmed the shit that I've been saying. So now niggas can't even say like, oh, Shakur coming up in weight. He ain't gonna be able to do X, Y, Z. Well, Lamont Roach just did it, and I know for goddamn sure Shakur Stevenson is a better boxer than Lamont Roach. And that's no disrespect to Lamont Roach because he showed up. But if that fight ever happens, yo, y'all niggas just reach out to me, bro. Like, just name your price, and nigga, I'll oblige, man. Like, I know boxing. It's just simple and straight. Like, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you niggas. Niggas don't listen, whatever. But just be ready to put that shit up, man. Pause. Just be ready to put the bread up if the shit ever materializes, man. Because I already know. I know what's gonna happen. But anyway, that's just my little breakdown of the fight, man. Fly Free Sports, man. We back in the building. You know, I gotta pop out sometime, man, and let niggas know what it is. You heard? But anyway, holla at me. Fly Free Sports. Like, share, subscribe, and we out.